All right, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Ha Rakah Kodash. Double honors to our apostle elders, which rule Great Millstone Wow, and shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. May you endure unto the end. Shalom Wa Abba Babal. So, if you haven't heard, it's in the news. Taylor Swift concert. Terror suspect 17 began working at venue days before foiled plot, say police, which they're saying these two teenagers, a 17 and a 19-year-old, right? The main suspect, a 19-year-old boy, had uploaded an oath of allegiance to the current leader of the Islamic State group militia online and is alleged to have been working with another teenager who was working at the stadium, which is the 17-year-old. So they canceled the concert, and a lot of people are having fits because they traveled to see this devil, right? They spent all kinds of money, took time off from work, their vacation time, only for this concert to be canceled, which is a beautiful thing. But the point I want to get with is, where was ISIS during the C-19? So this is from visionofhumanity.org. It says, how have terrorist organizations responded to C-19? Now it says, in less than a year, the C-19 crisis has fundamentally altered the global geopolitical, social, economic, and conflict landscape. Accordingly, the pandemic has had a profound impact on trends in international terrorism, whose long-term effects are only slowly becoming evident. The 2020 Global Terrorism Index does not cover the C-19 era. However, provisional data suggests that while the pandemic has reduced overall terrorist activity in many countries, there has been little specific impact. In contexts where terrorism is largely an urban phenomenon, there has been a notable reduction in violence to coincide with global lockdown. So these terrorists follow the rules when it comes to a C-19 lockdown, but they'll blow everybody up in a normal day, right? Which shows you that's a bunch of confusion, right? And really, ISIS is an inside job, all right? ISIS is working. They got taxpayer dollars supporting them, all right? Here it is. This is from justice.gov. Office of Political Affairs, U.S. Department of Justice. Press release, U.S. citizen charged with providing material support to ISIS and receiving military-type training at ISIS fighter camp. But you got to remember, America trained ISIS, okay? Here's one from Wikipedia. Timber Sycamore was a classified weapons supply and training program run by the United States Central Intelligence Agency, CIA, and supported by some Arab intelligence services, including Saudi intelligence. The aim of the program was to remove Syrian President Bashar al-Assad from power. Launched in 2012 or 2013, it supplied money, weaponry, and training to Syrian opposition groups fighting Syrian government forces in the Syrian civil war. According to U.S. officials, the program was run by the CIA Special Activities Division and has trained thousands of rebels. President Barack Obama secretly authorized the CIA to begin arming Syria's embattled rebels. In 2013, the program became public knowledge in mid-2016, right? Which they produced ISIS. See? It says delivery of thousands of tons of weaponry worth billions of US dollars. See, it says right here, it says, and raised concern about seizure of weaponry by Islamist groups and about timber sycamore backed rebels fighting alongside al-Nusra Front and its allies. It says in July 2017, U.S. officials stated that timber sycamore would be phased out, with funds possibly redirected to fighting the Islamic State or to offering rebel forces defense capability. So where was ISIS during the C-19? Where were they? They were obeying orders, all right? And who's controlling them? You got the elite of the so-called white race using these puppet politicians to control these things. See? Look right there. I gave the U.S. trucks from FoxNews.com and ammunition to Al-Qaeda, the chaotic U.S. effort to arm Syrian rebels. So U.S. created all these terrorist groups, and really the U.S. is the biggest terrorist in the world, the so-called white race. All right, this is from Congress.gov. S894 is this, I believe it's a bill. Yep. Bill S894. To authorize dedicated domestic terrorism offices within the Department of Homeland Security, the Department of Justice, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation to analyze and monitor domestic terrorist activity and require the federal government to take steps to prevent domestic terrorism. It says a bill authorized dedicated. Let me get to the point. Section 2 findings. Congress finds the following: white supremacists and other far right-wing extremists are the most significant domestic terrorism threat facing the United States. All right, the so-called white race is the biggest terrorist threat facing the United States. All right, because they're the devil the Bible speaks of. Even back in the day, they were terrorizing. It tells you in Deuteronomy 28 that the Lord would send this nation on us that, let me just get it, Deuteronomy 28, and I'll start at about 45. It says, moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and shall pursue thee, talking to the Israelite, the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American Indian, and overtake thee till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of Yahweh thy power, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever, because thou servest not Yahweh thy power with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which Yahweh shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. It says, the Yahweh shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. Talking about the Edomite, which they were speaking Italian. It says, a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young, See, so that's the spirit of this devil. They don't have no favor for the old, no favor for the young. It says, and he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle, and eat and the fruit of thy land, until thou be destroyed, which also shall not leave thee either corn, wine, or oil, or the increase of thy kind, because they're going to take your kids away, put them in foster care, put them in prisons. It says, or flocks of thy sheep, until he have destroyed thee. And who's this? The so-called white race. It's speaking of them as Romans, but they're still the biggest terrorist group that exists today. And they're funding all these other terrorist groups that you hear about today. But with that, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahushai Bahasham Ha Rakakodash. Double honors to our apostle elders, which rule Great Millstone well. And shalom to the elect Wa Abba Babal.